Hello everyone. Today is Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025, about 7:30 p.m. Today we will talk about TikTok FBT. It's a shipping process fulfilled by TikTok. In the last episode, we actually talked about TikTok's logistics. It has an advantage. That is, logistics can be free shipping, and free shipping for 20 euros. It is actually more friendly to some products, but and lower value goods, because on Amazon, the larger the volume, the higher the shipping cost, and the heavier the goods, the higher the shipping cost. On TikTok, it is based on the amount, can enjoy the free shipping service. That is, when the buyers order, when it exceeds 20 euros, they can enjoy free shipping service. This is currently a preferential policy of TikTok. Okay, when will this discount policy be cancelled? I don't know when this policy will be cancelled. Use it as soon as possible. If you fulfill by TikTok, its opening is relatively simple. First, log into the seller backend of TikTok. Let's take the European station as an example. Log into the seller backend of TikTok. After logging into the seller backend, first, switch the language. By default, if you are a Spanish account, it defaults to Spanish. We need to switch the language to English first, which is easier to operate. Then, on the left side of the menu, there is an option called Orders, which is for order processing. In the order processing section, there is a logistics setting. Then we look at Fulfill by TikTok. This is the one we need to open today. Function of TikTok warehousing and logistics. Yesterday, I actually gave you the general situation. I gave a relatively clear introduction from the official prompts. Now, if you open the FBT function, within 90 days, you will get free warehousing fees and the first 5,000 local orders. For the first 5,000 local orders, there is no shipping fee. This is a bit of a platform's preferential policy. It's like taking advantage of the discount. It's a free lunch, so we should take advantage of it. So, as soon as possible, you can actually use this. For example, we need to send samples to influencers. For the samples sent by influencers, all products may be given away for free, right? We don't want to add an extra logistics and freight cost. It can greatly reduce the cost of our promotion. So within 90 days, we should use these 5,000 orders as much as possible. So, for the influencer sample delivery, there is no need to pay extra fees. Later, if you have orders, you still need to follow their rules. If the order exceeds 20 euros, it can be free shipping. This concept is different. That is, if you originally send samples to influencers, you need to pay a part of the cost. However, because you use TikTok's warehousing and logistics, within the first 90 days, the first 5,000 orders, you don't need to pay this fee. For real orders, it's calculated in another way. For real orders, if the order is over 20 euros, it's free shipping. So this needs to be made clear. There are different situations. There will be different rules below. Click on this application. You can click Apply here. Apply. After clicking Apply, it will pop up such an interface. This interface is a platform for TikTok WeChat, platform for warehousing management. The login address of this platform is different from our seller backend. Its URL is different, but it doesn't matter. You can actually access it through here. Actually through the button here, you can directly access it. This is the logistics and warehousing functions of TikTok. First, when applying for registration for the first time, you need to ban an account, and you need to know its terms. It actually mentions that, in his TikTok warehouse, the service fees generated, the fees, will be deducted from our GMV, which will be deducted from our turnover. The fees incurred, there is no need to pay extra for this. After clicking on our agreement, after clicking to agree, it will be on. It is a banding. After banding, after agreeing to some of its terms and agreements, then it will jump to this interface. This interface, which is a warehouse management interface. This interface is different from the TikTok backend, and the seller interface are different. It has goods, outbound, and warehousing management. It manages product inventory in and out of the warehouse. costs, and other management. In the upper right corner, you can also switch the language version. If you are not in English, you need to switch it. It may not be in English by default. And then below it, there will be some data panels, such as how much money you have left, the balance, and so on. How much stock you have in the warehouse, how many orders have been processed, and so on. How many orders have been received. And then, here, you can see a general overview of the warehouse, the operation of the warehouse. Then, the first step is, you must create a product. When creating a product, it will be associated with our TikTok shops. The backend, which is the backend of your TikTok shop, products you have uploaded, it can be associated here. Then we click Create to create a product. When creating a product, it will jump to the next interface. When you reach this interface, there is a button to create a product. If you click this button, you can choose from. You can select products from the left side. For example, I can choose this. There may be some SKUs in the TikTok shop. It says to select the SKU. Select from your shop. After selection, it will jump to the left side. That is, I need to in my warehouse to establish which product information. I have created an SKUs here. Then click Create this product. After clicking Create product, it will jump to the third interface. After jumping to the third interface, you need to fill in some product information. The most important one in product information is SKU, and its SKU is optional. That is to say, for example, you can put for your independent website, right? You have defined SKU, and you have defined SKU on Amazon, or in TikTok shop, you define SKU. The SKU here can be synchronized. It's an optional field. It is not required, because after successfully creating a product here, it will also generate a unique code for you. This unique code is very similar to the FBT in Amazon, which is a unique identification code in their warehouse. Unique identification code. This identification code is, for example, when I need to print labels, or when shipping, you can use this code to identify what product it is. Each product has a unique code. The SKU is mainly convenient for you to record and statistics and other platforms, or with your ERP, or other e-commerce platforms. When you see the SKU, you can basically, know what product it is. And on the right side, there is also a description of it, a processing method for returns. For the return processing method, there are 4 options. First, let's look at the first one. The first one is that if the return goes, if it can be resold, then it will be. If it can be resold, they will resell it. If it can be resold, if it's unsellable, it will be destroyed directly. Then the second option is that, if it can be sold, it will be sold again. If it can be sold, it can be recycled and unsellable. The warehouse control of the recycling department, through quality control and inspection, the return goes, and then they can be recycled, and resell them. And the products that fail quality control, move the unqualified products, storage location, and then for sellers to collect. That means you can return them later. For example, I want to return these products to check the damage, or find out where the problem is. For example, our product return rate is very high, right? Then you must want to know what the exact reason is. It's a problem with the quality of the product. Sometimes you can return them. And the third one, that is to say, is to gather all the returned products and gather them all together. And the warehouse, the returned products, will be placed in a storage location for sellers to recycle them and not deal with them, whether it's saleable or not. Anyway, as long as it is returned, store them in one place. And the fourth one is, all the products, all the returned products in the warehouse is directly disposed of, or destroy them. And this is one of its 4 types of return methods. But generally speaking, we will choose, we choose the first one. The first one is that the product that is returned If it can be sold, we will sell it. If it can't be sold, it will be destroyed. Or you can choose the second one. Or the second one. Then you can choose according to your actual situation to make a choice. So currently, I choose the first one. Sell it if it can be sold, and destroy the ones that cannot be sold. And then, if you scroll down the page, you still need to fill in some things. You need to fill in some issued, which is its identification number. Coding is the default here. I recommend choosing the TikTok code. They can also use their own codes, such as ups or in on your own products, or in numbers, which can also be used. And for the products I'm selling, I use a packaging method. For example, let me give you an example. For example, I have 5 or 6 products. These 6 products, each of them has its own ups or in. If I combine them, I can actually to label which ups it belongs to. So I choose to use the TikTok way. This coding method, I put 6 items in one box and sell these 6 products together. Then let TikTok generate this code. This way, it has a unique identification code. This unique identification code is used for warehouse management, order management, and other management. I recommend using the first one, unless you are selling single items. If it's a single product, which means the product I'm selling has its own independent ups or in, then you don't need to print this separately, the TikTok code. But I still recommend using the first one. Whether you have it or not, I still recommend using the first one. It can print the label of the product. This product label is similar to the FBT on Amazon, which is used in the warehouse. To identify the product, you need to stick a barcode label on it. When sorting and shipping, they can use the barcode scanner to scan it, then take it off the shelf, and then attach the destination address, and then it will be sent out. So in this way, it's used to identify the product. This label can be printed. This is okay. It doesn't need to be printed now. It doesn't need to be printed now. Each product needs to be set separately, and then it's ups. If you use your own ups or in, there is a release example. It says what kind of format your ups is, or in what kind of format it is. It's actually some barcodes, or like a province, or FBT, a scene, which is only available on Amazon. So, for TikTok, it actually supports your Amazon inventory and allocates some of it to TikTok's warehouse. So what is the purpose of this? For example, I have some unsaleable inventory on Amazon. I have 1,000 pieces of inventory on Amazon. If I sell them, based on the sales rate, it may take 6 or 12 months to sell them. It will take too long to sell. At this time, I may consider other channels to distribute my products. But I don't want to use Amazon's logistics, because in the last class, I said that Amazon's logistics is very expensive. Hello, I will remove the products from Amazon, move them out first, move them out like this, and then directly on, through a third party, pack it in a warehouse, and then send it to TikTok. The labels on it don't need to be realistic, can be used using their original FBT label. Just stick them on. So this is very convenient. Which is very convenient. Transfer Amazon inventory to TikTok. For sales, what else does it need to fill in? You also need to fill in the length, width, and height of the product. The length, width, height, and the weight of the product, and the approximate weight. You can use grams or centimeters. He needs to fill in. When he fills it out, try to fill it in as accurately as possible, because the more accurate the information is, when they deliver the goods later, if there is freight or something, it can be used as a basis for verification. So it is required to fill in as accurately as possible. Detailed or accurate, but if you fill it inaccurately, it doesn't really matter. If the information is inaccurate, as long as the error is not too big. When they deliver the goods, they will have their own constant standards, such as the length, width, how high and how heavy, and the shipping fee that he will charge. They have their own standards. And then below, whether each product has batches, batch number, or an expiration date. If some products, they have an expiration date, such as cosmetics, some of them may have an expiration date. Then you need to fill in the expiration date. Until what time? Then below that, it will say whether it is a dangerous product. This is consistent with Amazon's terms, or actually consistent. For example, if you are products with batteries, if it is a chemical, if it is classified as a dangerous product, you need to provide relevant procedures and a certification. But most sellers should sell products, should not be classified as dangerous goods. So, by default, you can fill in no here, and then, and batch number should be filled with no, and the expiration date as no. After all the products are filled in, that is, we just created the product. We need to send a total of 8 SKUs, right? There are 3 products in total. There are variants under each of the 3 products. The variants together are a total of 8 SKUs. The TikTok code, all the information of them, each one needs to be filled in, including the length, width, height, and weight of each product, including whether it has passed expiry date, and whether to use this, the TikTok code, and so on. Fill them one by one. After filling in all the information, you can click the Submit button. However, if you have a large number of products, you can also use the batch function. It has a batch function, but I still recommend you to use manual. That is, create them slowly. For example, if you have 100 SKUs, you can use batch processing if you want, but actually, you can do it slowly. For example, you can do 20 today, and 20 tomorrow. In fact, it can be done in a week. Personally, I think the web operation is more convenient, and the form may not be able to. Yes, there may be errors. Then click Submit. After filling in all the information, just click Submit. After clicking Submit, it will go to the next step. When you go to the next step, it will go to Manage your products. For managing your products, such as if it has been rejected, whether the weight is correct or wrong size, and so on, there will be prompts here. If there are, you may need to make some adjustments. It may also be rejected, or some dangerous goods that will be rejected. If it is rejected, you may need to return it, and need to be reprocessed. So this is a management interface for products. This interface, after we add the goods, it will go to the interface for managing products. It's not yet in the shipping process. It just puts the information of the product in the TikTok's warehouse management system to establish it completely. This is the step. If we want to deliver goods, there is an inbound process above. This is the warehousing. For warehousing, you can set the number of products, such as how many quantities you want to store, and you can set these things. For example, before we put the goods in storage, we must first pack the goods. To pack the goods, and packaging. So before putting the goods in storage, we need to print a label for the product, print its number, and print its number, and print it out. After printing it out, on the outside of the product's packaging box, download and print it. The format of the label is like this. It's like this. Its size is 60 by 40. It also has other sizes. It also has a full size, but the size of the thermal label is only 60 by 40, only this format. If the label paper of your printer is not in this format, you may need to make a PDF file. You need to adjust the size. If you think this size is okay, or just download it, you can download it and take a look at the display interface. The format is like this. Below is a barcode. This is its number, and below is the name of the product, and at the bottom, there is also its code, a number. Just download it and stick it on the outer box, and it's okay, and it will be fine. Okay, after we finish packaging, after packaging the product, we need to create an inbound order. That is, we need to send this batch of goods To the TikTok warehouse, we can click on to create an inbound order. This button, you can click this button. After clicking it, it will jump to the next interface. The next interface is to create an inbound order. There is a prompt here. It prompts that I didn't fill in a VAT number for Germany, so the warehouse can only choose warehouse in the location of my account. My account is currently in Spain, so I can only send it to the Spanish warehouse. But it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if I don't send it to Germany. But if you are in Germany and you have a VAT number, you can also send it to the German warehouse. It becomes two options, and the options below will become two. One is to send it to Spain, and the other is to the German warehouse. And here, there is an address, which is a warehouse address, and a contact number. This is better, because there is no contact number on Amazon. It also provides a contact number. I think this is quite good. What is the contact number? What does contact mean? It can be used to make an appointment, to book the time for goods to be stored. That is to say, for example, after we create this order, there is an expected shipping time, the expected shipping time, and the expected arrival time. The expected arrival time. If the logistics company, if they need to deliver it inside, it needs to be scheduled. In fact, for Amazon's FBA shipping also requires an appointment, but many sellers don't know about it. The logistics company knows this. The logistics company will make an appointment with the warehouse. When I need this to be stored in the warehouse. Why do we need to make an appointment? Otherwise, if there is no appointment, for example, if 100 containers arrive today, I can handle them all. I can only handle 80 of them. The remaining 20 containers, wouldn't they be in vain, or wait in vain, right? So it's like making an appointment to see a doctor. So we need to make an appointment. This way, it won't waste both parties' time. It actually has such a phone connection. I think it's good. And when creating the inbound order, he still needs to add products. That is, in my inbound order, what products I want to send in. This needs to be added. We just created the product information. For example, we just created it SKU product information, but it doesn't mean that I will send all these 8 SKU, all of them. I may only send for today, and maybe for tomorrow. So when creating this inbound order, you need to fill in how many SKU of products I plan to send today, and the quantity. After clicking add, click here. After adding here, it will jump to the next interface. The next interface, I can, in my warehouse management system, I can check the boxes for this SKU, and I can choose by myself. After ticking, then click add, and then it can be added to my shipping plan. After adding it to my shipping plan, and then the next step, you will have to choose a packaging method. It means what type of this packaging method. It can create a template for each SKU, can correspond to 3 templates. What does this template mean? It means that how to pack the product, how many of this SKU can be packed in a box. For example, for this product, I can pack 10 in one box. If I want to send 30, it means that I may send 3 boxes. There is a label to set a standard, but it doesn't matter if you don't set it. You can just use the default one. The default is to not fill in the number of boxes. Don't fill in the number of boxes. Just enter the number of products you want to send. You can just use the default one. For example, I want to send 30. There are other SKU below. That is, how many. You can fill in the quantity you want to send. Then fill in the quantity completely. After filling in the quantity, you can go to the next step. Let me talk about this template. Because some sellers, their products are relatively single, then the way of packing is also relatively standard. Then you can create a template. It's better to create a template. For example, I send in 10 boxes. For example, if each box contains 10, I'll send 10 boxes in a total of 100. You can create such a template. First, there is one. How to create a template. First, let's talk about how to create a template. There is a button here. Click it. After pulling down, you can create this template. Then, when creating a template, it pops up an interface like this. In this interface, you can fill in the name of the template, the number of items in each box, the total weight after packaging, the total weight of the box, the length, width, and height of the box. The length of the box are optional. It can be filled or not, and the weight of the box is also an optional field, can be filled or not. However, there is a limit. The restriction is that the length, the longest side cannot exceed 40 inches. 40 inches is 1 meter. The length of this distance is 1 meter, which is 40 inches, cannot exceed 1 meter. This is a requirement for this box. Anyway, we don't need a template here. Without the template, for example, after we fill in the quantity, we can directly click the next step. If we click next here, then you need to fill in A. For example, I have 30 pieces. How I packed them? I can have box number 1, box number 2, 3, and so on. This way is very similar to Amazon. Amazon actually has such an action. For example, if I have 10 boxes and different products, for example, I have a total of 30 pieces, right? I may put 20 items in box number 1 and 10 in the second box. There may be other SKU in the second box, or packed in this box. That's how it works. Filling method. You can basically figure it out by yourself. For example, I have a certain number of boxes, the products in each box, what kind of goods, and the boxes, and the quantity of each product. Just mark them. Why do we need to add this box? Because it needs to generate a label for the outer box. For example, when we ship goods, there may be 10 boxes. If there are 10 boxes, each outer box will have a label. Box number 1, 2, 3, 4. It will be labeled. This is actually the same as Amazon's rules. In the end, such as how many boxes we have in total, how many goods are packed in each box. Here is how many boxes there are. Corresponds to the right side here. Here, you can add the number of boxes. Click it and it becomes C0003, and then it becomes C0004. It becomes number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, just like this, and so on. This is A. To fill in the packing information, then scroll down the page, and fill in all the packing information. There is also weight, and these things. How much the box weighs after packing, and then the size of the box. Then fill in the following two. Don't need to care about them. Then click this update plan. Update the plan. Or, for example, you can save it as a draft first, and then after all the boxes are checked, and label them, and then go to this, and do this. You can update it. And then, what's the next step? For example, after we click the update, after clicking the update, and then below it, you will be asked to choose a shipping method, which is the way you pack the goods, or shipping method, delivery method. For example, we are traditional, just like this. It's called a small package, just one box. 2. Not every box has a fixed size. That's what I mean. Most of the time, it's like this. And then, there are also some cases. They will send pallets. Pallets are used, just like Amazon. For some large and heavy items, they may use pallets. But this situation is generally rare. Because in e-commerce, the majority of products sold are light and small. There are fewer sellers of large and heavy products. But there are also, if there are, is pallet. If you have this type of box, and many irregular boxes, then you need to pay attention to each box. Its size cannot exceed 61 by 46 by 46 centimeters. This is its size. The size of each box, not all of them, is the size of each box. Then, the weight. The weight of each box cannot exceed 30 kilograms. This is the limit. If you use pallets, there is no such restriction. For pallets, it is done according to the pallet standard. And then there is also container, which can be a whole container. In the past, we usually choose the first one. And on the right side, there is my estimated shipping time, which is approximately when we will arrange the expected shipping time. And then on the right side of the estimated time, on the right, there is an estimated receiving time and time. For example, you can choose this, 9 o'clock, right? There is a note here. It says that for small packages, which is the kind of irregular boxes, for small packages, from Monday to Friday, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., it can be received normally. Then, except for some holidays, it will not accept packages on holidays. The rest is left to the logistics company. The logistics company just fill in the time here. About the time, sometimes the time is not so accurate, so the time here is just an approximation. It doesn't have a very accurate value. It's not particularly important. Just a rough estimate is fine. Then fill in the time and other things. After scrolling down the page, there will be a label for the outer box. The label of the outer box number 1. As we just mentioned, the first box, the second box, the labels of the outer boxes of the third and fourth boxes, and also the list in the parking area. Print this, and then it can also be a note for the delivery person. It will print some information about the goods inside, which will be printed out. Generally speaking, this is a must, which is necessary. The latter two are optional. You can print them or not. But it would be better if you print it. You can probably record what goods have been shipped this time, and the label looks like this. This is for the outer box. This label, this must be filled in. It will include your store information and barcodes. And here, on the parking side, it will be printed as well. It will have some information about the product, and address and other information. And below this is a warehouse. For the warehouse, this note, it depends on the individual situation. It can be printed or not. Generally, all three should be printed. It's definitely right. Then this is considered the shipping action. It is completed. After the shipping action is completed, we need to ask the logistics company to pick up the goods. The goods will be directly sent to the TikTok warehouse and wait for them to sign for it. As I mentioned before, we have our own inventory in Europe, which includes beauty and home products. Now, when it comes to TikTok, it's actually to let some sellers see to enter the TikTok platform. You may not be familiar with it, so I will continuously release some tutorials to teach you how to operate it, and we can provide the corresponding inventory and supply support. Well, it can help you get started on the TikTok platform faster. According to our current data, the influencers send samples and then send the products to them. After they receive the samples, they record videos and make short videos. The effect of promoting goods is quite good, and TikTok currently subsidizes shipping costs. That means that the price of the entire product can be relatively low. If the price is low, the conversion rate will be better. For the same product, on Amazon, it's 25 euros, but on TikTok, I sell it for 20 euros. People will definitely buy the product on TikTok. Although now TikTok, Tencent's traffic volume is not large enough, but their operating costs are lower than Amazon's. What will the future be like? I don't know. I only know that there is a traffic dividend now. All platform subsidies. Everyone should seize this opportunity as soon as possible. What will happen in the future? No one knows. Hurry up and to seize this market share first. First, take advantage of the platform's subsidies and take advantage of it. So, by using low prices, can reduce your operational skills. It doesn't require too many operational skills. It's easier, and it's easy to get started. So this is what I recommend to everyone. A project that you can implement as soon as possible. Of course, in the future, I will continue to update. There are also some other functions in TikTok, including how to attract traffic, influencer data, and including and some other core functions. I will gradually release a series of videos on TikTok to teach everyone. I will teach you step by step how to play TikTok well. Okay, today is Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 at 8 p.m. That's all for today's content. Thank you for watching. Bye.